Cool. How are you all doing? Welcome to Unfiltered Live. We are episode 12? There we go. I can count. Super exciting to see you all. This is a show where we solve your biggest business challenges that are of a non-technical nature. So if you need help with implementation, go to simplera.com/implementation. And we have some live Q&As there for you with all of our technical experts who can help you set up stuff and answer any kind of implementation level questions. Here, what we're discussing is the strategy, the how to create compelling offers, how to convert, how to find good leads, how to convert those leads, how to get the word out, how to structure your offerings and your courses and your products, and so that they have maximum impact for people in a way that you can easily deliver on, how to build a team and create a brand and culture and all of those things. So that is those are the topics of these calls today. I would love to take your questions. And last time we completely ran out of time. There were like 3 people with their hands raised in Zoom that we couldn't get to, unfortunately. So if you want to make sure that we get to your question, which is the meat of the show, raise your hand. And I was listening to something the other day about questions about, like, when you seek help from a mentor, oftentimes like you'll ask questions from the frame of mind that you're at. But a powerful question to ask is what are you seeing that I'm not seeing? Like, given my situation, what would you notice? How would you think about it? Right. So it's not like, because like really, if I got to ask a question of, Jeff Bezos or an Elon Musk or something like that, right? They're at such a different level that likely the questions that I would have wouldn't bring out necessarily their best contribution, their best genius, because they wouldn't even know what question to ask. So that's just an approach that you can consider is like just getting a different perspective on what you're seeing and what you're doing. So anyway, so what you want to do is you want to go to the reactions tab in Zoom, and there's a thing there that lets you raise your hand. That will get you in the queue of the Q&A, the questions, and then we'll get to those. That's the funnest part of the show. What is that? Oh shit, I didn't live stream. Fuck. Thanks for reminding me, man. Yeah, we need to set. What do I do here? Live on custom. Oh shit. Okay. Thanks, man.
It's working now.
Okay. All right, cool. And we're live streaming. We're supposed to be doing that from the beginning, but now we are live streaming. So good. All right, cool. Let me see. So we're going through this. Anything else that I need to say up front that I forget? If not, I'm going to dive into the framework. Speak up so I can see. Timing on questions. All right, timing on questions. What am I supposed to say? Okay, don't make you can speak up so I can hear you. Yeah. I know, but so I can hear you. Yeah, Beth. Yeah, so keep your questions short and to the point, I think is what we're trying to say here. When you get on and ask your question, get to the actual question quick. Don't give too much background and context. Just think about what your question is so we can get to it, because we want to get to as many as we can. I think that's the point here. Yes. All right, Beth, anything else up front that I need to say?
No, I think you got it. We're live streaming, we're recording. Yeah.
You are going to be on the interwebs, and we're probably going to use this clips from this in our advertising. So be prepared for that. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. So we are going through our 4-part framework, and today is part 3. So the first step was to come up with a high value, high priced offer that you can sell to people. It's a mistake that I see a lot of founders make, is that, or big course creators, entrepreneurs, business owners, I see them make this mistake of creating a product that's just too cheap and too little impact. So we want to create a product that is high value, high impact, so that we can charge a premium price for it, because that's how we make money. And there are lots of good reasons for that. So that's what we talked about 2 weeks ago. Step 2 is figure out how you're going to convert your leads. Are you going to go down the phone with them and do selling that way? Are you going to meet with them in person? Are you going to do a webinar? Are you going to do a sales page? Are you going to do a video sales letter? Are you going to be doing DMs, direct messaging on social media? Are you going to send emails? How are you going to planning on converting these leads into buying your offer, your product? There are many ways we can do it, but you have to make a decision on what you can have multiple approaches too, but typically pick one that you believe the most in and get started with that one. Step 3 in the framework is start by converting some low-hanging, easy to access leads. You probably already know some people in your network. Start there. Lead generation, generating effective leads at a cost that works for you is a hard thing in business. There are tons of ways that you can do it, but they all cost time and or money, and figuring out the right process and dialing it in so it's cost effective for you is work. So if you can find people in your network or on your email list or something like that, people you already have access to somehow, that's the fastest, easiest, simplest way to get started. Now that can include both people that you have, but also people you know have. We'll get into that. And then step 4 in the framework is what is step 4? Is to set up a repeatable lead generation system. So now you've tapped the initial leads that you have, and now we want to get to what are the ones that, like, what is going to be your ongoing lead generation mechanism? Four parts of the framework. So again, offer, conversion mechanism, easy to access leads, repeatable ongoing lead generation system. All right. So it's quite simple. Like, those are the things that we need. And again, if you're already in business, then maybe you don't need step 3 because you already have this stuff going, but at some point you're going to need to think about a repeatable lead gen system, and we're going to talk about that next week. So with that said, let's talk about it. Easy to access leads. Most people have already built some email list. I mean, obviously not when you're just starting out, but then, like, what I see a lot is people have already generated, 50 emails or maybe 100 emails, maybe a couple hundred emails, and they do have those emails somewhere. Maybe it's just like they have a contact list of people, their network, their friends, some people that they have email of. Maybe they have it in Simplero, and you've built a list and you have some activity there, but you haven't really made a ton of sales. So or you're someone who's meeting people in person and talking to them on a regular basis. Like, maybe you have some like, you're doing presentations, or maybe you have a business where you're taking clients and doing some work with them. So those are all situations where you already have access to some leads. And so what I recommend to get started is that you start with those leads that you already have. And in the beginning, you want to make that sales process much more personal. A mistake that I see a lot of people make is that they try to systematize and automate and create this whole, like, they want to just have hey, I have my course, it's $150 and here's a sales page for it, and now, like, go buy. And like, well, yeah, no, probably not going to happen. Because like, people aren't looking for a course, they're looking for a result. And we talked about that a couple of weeks ago in terms of getting the offer right. So yeah, let me know in the chat, what is your biggest struggle right now when it comes to converting leads that you already have access to? Type that in the chat. I want to see what those challenges are, and then we can dive into that. I'm waiting to see. Biggest challenges when it comes to converting leads currently. And you just type like a 2-word thing. It doesn't have to be like a long answer, just like, getting people to show up on the phone, or like feeling insecure, or like not being clear on what I'm selling, or like, what is it for you? Or maybe you're already converting you've already converted the leads that you have, and that's cool. All right. So making the email marketing funnel generate leads, not being clear, the right funnel process. All right. What do you think about saying that this is the last time before I have to raise my price? Spending too much time with each lead, or spending a lot of time with each lead? Yes. Okay. Convincing them the value of the product. This is fantastic, guys. All right. So who wants to come on and workshop this? These are great. We can totally work with all of these. So let me see here. Yeah, who wants to come on and discuss? We've got the right price. I can start.
I'd be curious, Anne, about what you mean by the right funnel process. Do you mean like the content, or love to dive into that.
Yeah, so I'll just start from the top, and then raise your hand for those that want to come on. Just use the reactions tab, and we can get you on. So Stura is saying, make the email marketing funnel generate potential leads. So the email, it's not the purpose of your email marketing typically to generate leads, right? The email marketing happens after they become a lead. However, you can use your marketing, your like lead nurture funnel to generate other leads. The way that typically happens is that you deliver a phenomenal product or service or experience to people, so that they want to tell other people about it, right? So that they refer other clients. So that usually that happens after you've delivered. And this is the most powerful thing that you can do, is to make sure that the experience that people have is so freaking awesome that they tell their friends about it, because that scales exponentially. Everything else scales linearly. If you run ads to convert people to sell them, then you're going to have to run more ads if you want to make more sales. Right? But if you create something where every time people buy your stuff and go through your product, they end up referring 2 more people to you, then that doubles every single time. And so every dollar that you put into driving traffic with ads or whatever it is, it ends up creating exponential returns. And eventually you can just turn off the ads completely if you want to, and just grow that way. So that's the core of it. We really want to build that engine. And that's how you get your email marketing to generate leads. Now, generating leads that go into your email marketing, that's a whole other question. But I see Damon's raised his hand. Let's get Damon on here. Is that?
Yep. There we go. Hey, Calvin.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
How are you? Good to see you. I have a question that's very much related to what you were talking about.
Cool.
I've really been unable to nail a high ticket offer. I've got one. I've pitched it to a bunch of folks, and a bunch of thumbs down, like no one took it, right? But like, I think that's fine, because I do really well with this like mid-price product. I have like tons of $500 products, and I love doing them, and they're tons of fun, and they sell pretty well. But they're just sitting on the shelf. I have like 20 products sitting on the shelf. And so I was kind of looking for, I don't know, advice on like, how I could go about getting more sales of those products that are just sitting there, that are really good, right? I think.
Do they all have the same target audience, more or less?
More or less, yeah.
All right. I mean, so there's a couple ways that you can go about this. A simple thing is, cross sell all the time, right? So once people are in, they get on your newsletter, and basically every week you're just pitching another one of those 20 products. So whatever they haven't bought yet, it's like, hey, did you know I also have this one? And you can do a whole sequence on that, and you can just rinse and repeat every single week. And so you cycle people through those. That's a simple strategy. It's a lot of there's a lot of detail in setting that up, but the strategy overall is very simple. The other thing that you can do is a membership. So that wouldn't be high ticket probably, but it would give you that recurring revenue. And once they're in that membership, they get access to all of them and some additional, maybe there's community, maybe some group coaching calls, that kind of stuff. And recurring revenue is always great because it gives you predictability in your business. And then you can obviously sell them as a bundle as well, right? At a discount, but where oh my God, you get all of these. So you probably don't want to do both, where both membership and bundle, although I suppose you could. But where the membership, you only have access to them for as long as you're a member, whereas the bundle, you get all of them. Back in the day when I discovered online marketing, that was in 2010. And I went to an event with this guy named Dan Kennedy, who's kind of taught a bunch of these online direct response marketers. And he offered a bundle that he called the whole enchilada, which was literally like 3 massive boxes of just all of his CDs and DVDs. And it was all print, and it was not online at all. It was all print. And I had these boxes shipped, and it was the whole enchilada. It was like, I forget, it was like 11 grand or something like that to just buy all of his stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I need to promote what I've got a lot harder.
Yeah.
The existing
100%.
things.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't promote it, they don't know that you have it.
Yeah. Well, I love doing the launches, and if I could give a plug for Simplero, it makes it so easy and enjoyable to do. I'm in a launch right now. I'm doing a launch right now, and it's kind of complex. It's like 17 different products. Like they could buy all these different packs, these different training packs. I set it up in Simplero in a day, like less than a day. It was awesome.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love hearing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate it.
Cool. Yeah. And so once you have people in, once they're a lead, once you have their email address, once they're a customer, let's put it that way. Once they bought something from you, you need to tell them about all the other stuff. And the method, the formula that you can use is fear, logic, gain, or is it the gain, logic, fear? I forget what the order is. Gain, logic, fear, going, gone. So this is what Ainsworth taught us on a webinar that we did a while back. Let me see here what my notes say. I think it was gain, logic, fear, isn't it? Isn't that the classic? I think that's it. I have to always look these things up when I do it. Gain, logic, fear, going, gone. So that gives you six emails right there. If you do 6 emails for different products every single week, that might be a lot. But on the other hand, if they're on your list and they're not buying stuff, they're not doing you any favors. In fact, you're actually paying for the privilege of sending to them. So, maybe that's okay. But yeah, what do they stand to gain? A logical reason why they buy it. Fear-based, like what is the fear that they might have that would make them buy this product? And then you make a deal every week, right? You make an offer, a discount or something, bonus or something like that. And so that's where the going, gone comes in. It's like, all right, this offer is going away in 2 days. Oh, now it's going away tomorrow. And then oop, it's gone. Sorry, you missed it. And then the next one, maybe you can space them out by a couple of weeks, but you get the idea. And you can set it up too, so that if people are like, hey, I'm just not interested in this thing, they can opt out and you don't send them any more about that one, but then they get the next week.
Right.
Cool.
Very cool. Appreciate it.
Very good. Appreciate your question, Damon. Good to see you, brother. Damon used to work for us in customer success, and it was great. And I'm so stoked to see how successful you've been with your own business, man. It's awesome to see. All right, who do we got next?
Awesome. Kimberly, I think.
Nice. Hey, Kimberly, good to see you.
Hi, long time no see.
Hey.
I was here
Yeah.
last week, but I had my camera off because yeah, you didn't need to see that.
You're hiding.
Yeah. So first off, I just have to tell you, Calvin, it's been the most amazing week. And I attribute a lot of that success to coming to these with you and your wisdom. I won 6 awards for my music this week.
Oh, wow.
Well, 5 awards for my music and 1 award for a film that I did the music for. I got my first paying customer for my course that I'm starting in January. And then I got 2 more people that seem to be ready to sign up. I think very soon they'll be joining as well. And I have complete clarity about when I'm doing it and everything like that. So January will be when I do it.
Awesome.
When I actually start teaching them and everything. So I'm doing a real early bird discount.
All right.
So my question for you is, as far as like the leads and converting, you know, I had put in the chat, like what I did last year is I would do a one-on-one piano lesson with each lead, but this year I would like to do something different because the program I'm selling is not really a one-on-one program. It's more group and recordings and things like that, and also video responses and things like that. I truly think that's going to be good for clients. But my question is, do you have any ideas or anything that you see that I don't of how to sort of connect with more people on something that's kind of technical, which is piano, but in a way that I wouldn't necessarily spend like a one-on-one lesson with each one, because I'm not sure that that would like translate to the program as well this year.
So you say connect with, you're trying to figure out how do you engage people that you already have as leads, or are you, where are we at in the funnel?
Like on social media, for example, I feel like there are people who are maybe interested, but I need like a conversion, like a moment where it's like, okay, here we are, I'm giving you something, and now also I'm going to give you this, like, here's the sign up link, you know?
Right. So lead magnet.
The lesson. What?
A lead magnet or the offer or the product?
Like, right. Okay. See, this is good. This is all learning. I feel like for the offer.
Yeah. Okay.
I already have leads. I just need something to do with them to, you know.
Well, so then you need to construct an offer and make that offer to them. Sounds like, right?
Yeah. Okay. See, this is showing my lack of understanding of business.
Yeah. All right. So we have the way this, like the framework very simply, right? We have traffic. We have people who are visiting our website or viewing our social media or whatever it is, right? Or ads that we're running. So that's the traffic. Those are all prospects if we're going to get like naming things. They're prospects. Then you make them an offer. It's not for money, but it's like, give me your contact information, your email, your phone number, something in exchange for email. In exchange for something. That's your lead magnet.
Yeah.
What's that?
Usually I skip that part. I just go ahead and make them the offer for the thing.
Right.
Usually.
So it's good to do a lead magnet, because now you can connect with them over and over again over a long time, right? You have their email address. You can make multiple offers, because if they didn't buy the first one, doesn't mean that they're not interested in something else. And then and then the next stage is that you make offers for purchase, something that they buy that helps them with stuff. So what you I would, if you have the leads, so what's happening is that you're making offers and they're not converting?
No, I just I just feel like when I go to make the offer, like last year what I did was I was like, hey everybody, I'm giving a free piano lesson this week.
Oh, so it's your conversion mechanism.
Yeah. So then they would sign up, I'd give them the lesson, and then
Right.
at the end I'd say, I'm doing this
Okay,
program.
so let's workshop this for a second. So what is the problem you solve for people?
Oh, I help people learn how to play the piano, improvise their own music and covers without having to read sheet music or be stuck to sheet music.
Right. So you unlock them from the sheet music.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
the big thing that you offer.
Yeah.
How much is that? Who is that worth the most to?
It's worth the most to people who have actually spent time taking piano lessons. They've invested in it, but at the end of the day, if they don't have their sheet music in front of them, they can't like play anything, and they feel limited to their creativity. They feel like they're stuck.
Got it. And what is it worth to them?
I think it's, well, I mean, all I know is last year it was worth about $1,300 for like 12 people. That was my goal, and I did get that.
Right. $1,300 each.
Yep, for a 5-month program. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I would be curious, like, what are the people for whom this is worth the most? Like, what is it psychologically? What is it about their situation that makes this really, really valuable to them? Like, they perform regularly, or like, what is it? Like, who are those people? Think about like your high end. That would be like, yeah, this is worth like, you know, $20,000 to me. Like, who are those people? I would get super curious about that. Even if you're not only addressing those, but that's going to be really good information. And then what would just an incredible, like, I'm going to sit down next to you and teach you this for as long as it takes until you get some result. Like, what is the out of this world outstanding experience that you can create for them? That helps you understand what the problem is that you're solving. And then you can scale back from that based on who you actually have in the room. And I would put together an experience that's I wouldn't do free lessons as the way to convert people. We're working with a framework right now that someone taught to me as the 7 sins and the 10 commandments. So it's basically you let people know what are the mistakes that people typically make, and then what is it that you need to do to be successful, and then that is gonna, like, now people recognize they have a problem. They know that you have a path for them to be successful, and you're even giving them sort of the direction that they need. And then based around that, you can sell them a product that helps with the implementation of that, right? So it's the going more in depth about what they need to do, how they need to practice, and then offering some coaching calls, some Q&A, some group Q&A around that, maybe even a higher level that's individual.
Okay. So as far as like, if someone's interested, and I want to sell them something, are you saying that like I should do just like a sales pay? I feel like I'm totally missing this right now. I'm like, because in my, like, I need to have a moment with them where I'm like talking to them in some way.
Well, totally. You can absolutely do that. So like, and that it's a great way to start, that you talk to people while you're figuring out what you need to say. But I wouldn't make it a free lesson. I would make it a conversation.
Okay, there we go. So it's more like a sales call.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, because I can verbally say these things. And then the other idea I had was like maybe like a group challenge of some kind, like a I don't know, free challenge or something.
Yeah, start with the sales calls, because you have those people, you have the leads. It's easy to do. Challenges a lot more work and effort, and you have to get that group dynamic going and all of that stuff. Like, I would save that for later. Right now, just get some sales conversations going with people, and your job in those sales conversations is to really understand what their pain point is. What makes
I know what they are, but yes, make them feel like I understand, because I get it. Okay.
Right, but what makes this a pain for them right now? Why is this urgent? Why is this valuable to them? And the phrases, maybe you already know this, but get the specific phrases that they that they use, because that's what you're going to use on your
Yeah.
sales page
I mean,
or in your VSL later.
I mean, I taught for like, 10 years, 15 years in person. So
Okay.
at this point, like I know exactly what usually holds people back.
Well, then maybe you can just do maybe you don't need phone calls, sales calls. Maybe you just put together a video where you talk about that.
That's what I'm kind of
a
thinking.
VSL.
Like,
And then send people to that page. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm feeling self-conscious. I did not tell you those successes to brag. I told you because I want you to know how much I have gotten out of these
I'm happy
calls.
for you.
It was a rough couple months, but like it was a very good week, and I'm excited. So
that's amazing. I'm super happy for you, Kimberly. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. All right, cool. Thanks a lot. Who's next?
Who's next is Lynn. Thanks, Lynn. I'm going to unmute you.
All right. Lynn, what's up?
Hi. I am in I'm going to call it a rebranding process. And I think it's not as much rebranding. Actually, I think when I started the digital portion of my business, I was very much sort of passively aggressively thinking that I could move people in the direction that I wanted them. And I'm realizing that's not working. So I'm an interior designer. I have wanted to move away from doing one-on-one work. And so I've created a membership for sort of to funnel most of my clients that I have now that are those people that like they don't necessarily want to like have a whole design done. They just want to tweak and finish things. And I think there's a way to do that more effectively, but the larger part of what I feel like I can create for people is helping them, step into this more holistic, bringing their entire personality, their entire, like everything they want into their space instead of it just being a simple aesthetic. So I have clients, I have a very small email list. I think there's about 300 people on it. But I'm not utilizing it. And I think, doing the things that I'm doing to rebrand and pull everything together are kind of an exciting way to re-engage them. But, I don't want to overload them at the same time or confuse them. That's my biggest fear.
All right. So if you were to, what's your question exactly? How do I?
Just taking care of my current clients, being able to build and consolidate what I see as the vision forward without confusing everybody.
And your existing clients are the one-on-one clients?
Yeah. They are technically like in a membership. But the majority of the work that I do, or financially, the money that I get is from the one-on-one work that I do with them. Like sourcing and buying products.
I'm not sure I'm clear on what is it that would confuse people? Who would get confused about what?
Just moving into this more holistic set, not just picking out paint colors, not just helping, helping them, telling them whether or not what they want to buy is right.
Okay. And the membership that you have is not talking about that. It's talking about the colors.
The membership that I have now is structured so that they have one-on-one time with me each month, where we do sourcing, but then there's some other resources, just like how to do. I think it's already confusing because there's like a breathwork workshop and there's a essential oils workshop and there's all these things that are disconnected, and I just want to bring it all together, and I want to let go of that one-on-one design. But that takes a lot of time and effort, and
All right.
to
So what do you
get-
need to make happen revenue wise in order for that to be the case?
I mean, $3,000 a week would replace what I'm bringing in now.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And what is your price point for the current membership, and what's your planned price point for the new holistic thing?
The current membership it's $99 or $79 at the starter level, $198 if they're working with a contractor, but the money that I make comes from the sourcing that I do within the membership, which is what
Okay.
is the time consuming part of it.
Got it. Yeah. So I'm still a little confused on what you need help with, honestly. But so you're moving into something more holistic, and you're worried that your existing clients are not going to be resonating with that.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily, I mean, I'm certainly okay with letting them go. If I have a finance, I think my problem has been, and you said it right at the beginning, is having, I thought that I was, creating something small to replace it and hoping that that builds, but instead what you're saying is starting with the high ticket replacement and putting my efforts there instead of
Right.
trying to drag people along and hope they bring people with them.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And maybe and like it sounds like you're really keen on this like more holistic view on it. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who want that too. And maybe you have a high ticket offer that's just for the right person. They're willing to spend, to pay you like, I don't know, $3, $5, $10, $15,000 a month to have you on speed dial with that, but because they feel that connection to you and that you understand it's not just about the colors, but it's really about the whole feel of the and essential oils and like all of that stuff, you're the right person for them. And then you have just like 1 or 2 or maybe 5 clients that you do that with, and they're people that you absolutely love, and it's just like super easy for you, so it's not a drain on you to do that kind of work. And then you can also do something that's a lower price point that more people can participate in, and that's not at that elite level, because typically at the elite level you're gonna invest more of your time in that, typically, but so you can have a lower level which is a lot less of your time, but it can still be a higher price point probably when you had than what you had in mind, because you're going after a very specific avatar of people who want that intersection of the holistic and with the practical interior design. I think that could absolutely work. And it's just being very clear on who are you targeting and what is it that you're doing for them, and why are you the right person for them.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is this making sense?
It does. It absolutely does.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Cool. Thank you, Lynn. My
Awesome.
pleasure. All right. Who else we got?
Malin came back from dinner to ask her question.
Right.
So we've got to take her next so she can have dinner with her family. So
All right. Fantastic.
Malin, will
Let's
you
do
go
it.
ahead?
Oh, there.
There you go. Yep.
Yep. Well, we actually are at the dinner table, so my daughter is next to me. So
That's cool.
I guess I have the same problem as everyone else here, because it's really hard to figure out how to do the question. What I know I have a problem, but I'm not really sure how to put the words so I understand what my problem is. But I think I'm a little bit the same as Kimberly here. And congratulations, Kimberly, I must say. It was really nice to hear. I needed that one to know that there are things to do. Because I have also a list with people, and I get a lot of great feedback from what I send an email every week, and I get, oh, it's really nice to hear you and what you're saying. And like, I'm coaching entrepreneurs, and I used to work at the tax agency here in Sweden. So a lot of people go to me to get answers to their questions that they don't really know how to ask about taxes and things like that. And I think my problem is that I'm so used to get paid to answer questions, so I can't really transform my thing now to actually get to people to pay me, because when I have them one-on-one, so maybe you answered all the questions to Kimberly before, but because I give too much, I think, when I meet them, and I also have a thing. Sorry, my English here.
So
I really like this kind
you're
of work.
selling to business owners, right? Is that your audience? All right.
Yeah.
And you're helping them. You're helping them save money on taxes or avoid getting into trouble with the tax authorities. Is that?
Yes, and I also help them understanding their booking, their accounting. So I also do accounting, but I also teach people how to understand, because the accounting, the bookkeeping is a really good tool for you to use when you run your business. So a lot of people is just like, okay, I let somebody else do the bookkeeping.
Right. I get it. Okay. And are you like, how much money are you saving people through your knowledge, or what's the value? Like, what's the monetary value of the service that you provide in that way? Like direct money they earned, money they saved, or trouble they avoid?
Oh, I don't know the number there, but
Give it a ballpark. Just it's a lot, is a little.
In dollars, I would say a typical person who can do their own bookkeeping, they can save around, well, 20, what's that? In 40,000 Swedish krona, that's around $4,000, I think, a year. And when they understand their bookkeeping, they can save so much more, because they don't put money on the wrong things. So
that's the thing, right? And then it gives them peace of mind, and it, like, once they've got the system, then it frees them up their time and energy to be focused on more important things. That's kind of where I'm going with it, is like, what if it's a monthly membership? They just pay you a fixed amount each month that gives them access to you, so that they can ask their questions. That could be over text, and then you can send a voice answer back, or it can be you jump on a call when it's necessary. It could be pre-scheduled, but it could also just be on an as needed basis. And then I would say you have a process, you have a framework and a process that you take people through. That's having a process just increases the perceived value a whole lot. We're like, okay, we're going to do this and do an audit, make sure this is in place and this is in place. And I'm going to go find these like 5 typical things where that tax breaks or whatever that entrepreneurs typically overlook, that you might be able to save some money in taxes on that. And we're going to do that in the first like 30, 60, 90 days, so that immediately once you come in, all the money you're paying me, and maybe it's a year-long membership, so you pay ahead for the year, but like, we're going to make you that money back in the first 90 days. And then you have a system for how they do the accounting and payroll and bookkeeping, all that stuff that you implement in their business, and you give the business owner a dashboard and that like basic training, which can be pre-recorded on how to think about accounting, and always framing it in terms of what the business owner cares about, like making money, saving money, making the right decisions, saving time, not getting in trouble with the tax authorities, right? So if you offer a package like that we're just, as a business owner, they just feel like it's not like they don't need to know what questions to ask or what to do. It's just like they're hitching themselves to your train, and you just freaking take care of it and run with it. And you still have that little bit of a one-on-one, so that people can get their specific concerns addressed. I think that could do really well.
That's a really good idea. Actually, you just put words on what I have tried to figure out the last couple of weeks here. So thank you. I will work more thing to see if I can find a. Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. Yeah. All right, super good. Well, enjoy your dinner. Cool. Who we got? Who we got next, Beth?
Anne is next.
My question is on the right funnel, and it kind of piggybacks off some of the ones that were put in the chat and even Damon's. I have a lot of really great products. I'm trying to find the right funnel to get evergreen. And I don't know if my question is more like, what's really the right rhythm? Because I know that if you get things dialed in, it's almost like it's an equation that gets like a code gets cracked, like having it evergreen. I've done well with launching and I know how to launch and get sales. And then it's like, okay, if I don't, because you can use urgency and time constraints that make it and there's like a certain built-in scarcity to it. But to create the evergreen sales with the right funnel has been more
right. Where
slippery.
the leads coming from for your launches?
Just my current list.
Okay, so you just do launches to your existing list?
Yeah, and I'm pretty well. I know how to get traffic and I know how to create a really engaged list. So that part I have dialed in. It's the back end of the evergreen, easier kind of like sales process of the funnel.
Okay.
Without being also spammy, because that's another thing. I mean, I have my open rates are like 35, 36%. So my list is engaged and I don't want to lose that, that trust and touch point.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, you can absolutely automate something where you cycle people through different offers, right? And they're basically going to be mini launches, right? Each one of them, because you add a bonus or you have a discount or something.
Okay.
So to get that scarcity urgency, it doesn't have to be deep, and it can be just one email, right? But you cycle people through, and then like maybe they buy this time, maybe they buy that time. I think that's just a simple process that does work, right? Like if you're telling people about your offer, it's going to work better than if you don't tell people about the offer. If you add some urgency or a bonus or some scarcity, something, it's going to work better than if you don't do it. So I don't see why that wouldn't work. Yeah. The other thing to consider is a membership, some kind of subscription, right, where people get all of it, and that gives you more predictability and evergreen, or more predictability and stability. Other than that, like, where do you get your leads from when you get them?
I do post on Facebook, and then I've figured out how to share it so it moves organically, and then it drives people to my list.
Got it.
And that's
So
a
organic
number.
social.
Yeah, but it's like I figured out a way that it's a percentage and it's predictable every single time.
That's amazing.
And
have you taught that to people? You should share that with the group.
Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to do with like my evergreen, like how, not getting too technical on Simplero, but it's like if my numbers are literally on my dashboard that each contact is worth $100, I have a 4% conversion and you can advertise up to $4. Like that's what I'm trying to do that's what I'd like to do with getting my evergreen, like as predictable as like how I know I can share and get traffic. Right. Also like how to use those numbers to create like my funnels that work. I mean, it is valuable what you said for Damon's question, which is do cross-selling, maybe bundle things, I can experiment with that. But anyway, it's more of like, I just was trying to figure out what's that right rhythm. So it kind of makes it more of like a formula that works when you kind of figure out the way in to do it.
But it sounds like you have it, right? You make a post and people like sign up for your thing, and then they buy something at some point, right? As part of
but I've done it all more launch oriented. But I think that was valuable. What you said is start turning maybe what I want to have as evergreen sales, use sort of a launch style.
Yeah. So when you make a post, what is the call to action on the post?
They opt in to get something from me.
And what is that thing? Like lead magnet, PDF, something?
Yeah. Do you want to know specifically what it is?
Well, and then what happens, and when do they buy their first thing?
Well, I haven't figured out the evergreen part of the funnel. So they'll buy whatever I have to sell. That's
got it.
launch style.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a big suite of products and I have my own built-in process. So I've that's really good. And I get a good percentage out of what I do launch to that list with, but it's still everything. It seems like I haven't been able to figure out my way to get things more evergreen in the funnel. It's more launch style.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, you can either just like really dial in all the processes and even then you can outsource it to someone, and then you just like your posts just cycle through all the different products and offers week after week, right? That would be one way to do it. The other is that you figure out one product that's your first product, that's your like the first thing that you want people to buy, and then you just keep posting about that, and that's the only kind of call to action, the only thing that you're trying to sell from that. And then you can obviously start running some of those as ads so that you get in front of a bunch more people, and that's your first product. And then people come in after, like, then you can sell them more stuff after that. If you have that whole cross-sell machine going, that seems like that should totally work.
Yeah. I mean, my post is not the product I'm selling, that
Right.
I've got it dialed in. So it's like, I have one thing that I've done for years and it brings people in, and it brings like good
And
quality.
it's the same damn post every time?
No, it's in the same theme, but specific to like the month.
Got it. Okay. But it's not like then once they're on your list, so there's not a connection between the post and then what the first product they buy is.
They're related. They're in the same wheelhouse of what people would want, transformational work, or it's in the self-development transformational area, or it's business entrepreneur,
right?
But more in people that are like, that'd be drawn to Simplero.
Right. But it sounds to me like you have a launch machine going over here that's like this launch and this launch and this launch and this launch. And then you have a lead gen machine over here that's like this post in here, but they're not really connected.
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah, connect them. so the post is like leads direct, like the post is about the same thing as your product. And then if you find one that works really well, you can keep doing that over and over again. But then you can do another post that leads to another series, right? Put them on another list, or another automation that then leads to another product. Now you can have multiple of these front-end funnels, all organic, which is amazing. And then once they're in, like, sure, go cross-sell and sell them something higher ticket.
Yeah, I guess so. Yes. This has been my whole thing, is mystery, is like getting those two connected. Cause I'm like, I know I'm sitting on gold between the two. Yeah. And is then also in the launches, I've given up fatiguing my list. I've realized you got to tell people over and over again. So I've got over that. And then it's like in the evergreen, I also don't want to fatigue my list. I interact a lot. So I send out a lot of emails. So that part's great.
That's cool. Yeah.
But what's your suggestion on that? Not fatiguing your list.
Like, be real, deliver value. And I think it's okay. Like if people are there, but they're not interested in solving their problems, like it's okay. They can unsubscribe. It's free and easy.
Okay. So kind of have the same attitude that I have, doing an evergreen funnel, trying to figure out how that works. Have the same attitude I have with when I'm doing something that's launch style.
Yeah, I think so. Like if people are on your list and they're not interested in ever being a customer, you don't need them, right? That's not where we're in, the business that we're in the business of solving problems for people for money. And so if they end up unsubscribing because they're just not interested in buying from you, that's totally fine. And like, no hard feelings one way or the other.
Yeah. I mean, I guess because I have the philosophy that maybe they're not buying now, but they will later. And that is the truth, that does happen. So that's why I am sensitive, and I feel like I've created a good trust relationship, because I don't want to be spammy with the emails, and I'm not.
Yeah. And I think it's just about like, it's just about the tone and what how you say it, and like, and you can do like, hey, just want to know if like, are you still interested in solving this problem? Like, here's a product that will do that for you. Boom. Like, is that spammy? Not really. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, is this something that you want to do? I get it. Like, my point is, I get that like they might become customers down the line. My point is if they're not going to ever become customers, we don't really need them around, right? So sure, if they're going to become customers down the line, then it's like, what do they need to hear in order to make that decision? We know that they sign up for a reason. There is some kind of pain. There's some kind of desire. For some reason, they're not ready yet. And we're doing them a disservice if we don't help them become ready, so that, and we don't help them make that decision. And sure, it's fine. There might be like, it might not be the right time for them. We all have like you know, we all have a list of like, all right, these are all the things I should be doing something about. And this is like not yet at step at you know, in the top 3. And that's fine. We got some other things we need to do first, and we'll come back to it. That's cool too. But maybe you can help them remind them of why they signed up and why this is important. And I think you can do that totally. I think the spamminess is all in the tone and your intention, right? So yeah. Do that. But
So that would
definitely
be
like if the post that you're using to generate leads is connected with the lead magnet and what you say in the emails after, and the landing page for the lead magnet too, and then the offer, if the tighter the coupling between all of those, the better it's going to work. And once you find one that really works, you can probably keep repeating that for a long time.
Okay, that's good. And I love what you said. I'm going to write that down afterwards. Is we're doing a disservice if we don't help them get to, what did you say? Like, to helping them solve what their problem was sooner than later.
And yeah, it's really making the decision that like, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this a priority, right? It's very easy to be like, oh yeah, I know I should do something about this, but like, I don't really know if it's like, now is the time. So again, that's the urgency, not in terms of, oh, this is going to go away and like, the price is going to up, but urgency of like, why is this important? What is it actually costing you in pain or in, you know, money or relationships or something?
Yeah, I'm going to look at my evergreen funnels from that lens as well, because then I feel like that's kind of a 2 touch point of urgency is get this now for whatever I build in, and then the internal urgency.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right. My pleasure. And thank you everybody who showed up. I think we have a couple of raised hands we didn't get to. We will, we'll be back next week, same place, same time, and answer some more questions for you guys. And next week, we're going to talk about how to create a repeatable lead generation strategy. And just like we just heard. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you all next week. Thanks everybody for showing up, and bye. Have a great Thursday.